Hi. Fnaf 4 was probably the most confusing game in the Fnaf franchise, only being beaten out by Security Breach.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm the Blob.
But not anymore because of my large, humongous brain. Here's a diagram of my brain for proof. Anyways, I just solved some of it with one statement. The MCI happened before the bite of 83. Okay, so we can all agree that Cassidy is the vengeful spirit, the one you shouldn't have killed, lore bait, whatever you want to call it. You know, we see Golden Freddy twitching at the end of, not end, but 50-20 mode, cutscene, UCN, yada yada yada. So, the main point of how I solve this is that the Fredbear plush is Cassidy, and she helps the crying child after death, and they do like a Dragon Ball Z fusion thing to become Golden Freddy. You know the I will put you back together cutscene? You know, the two most popular theories is that that's Michael Afton talking or William talking. Now the Michael one is half true. It starts with gray text, which the gray text is basically saying, "Ooh, I'm so sorry that I put you in the mouth of an animatronic bear and you got like chomped up and shit, man. My bad, twin." Wow. Then it like changed to yellow text and it's gonna be like, "You're broken. I will put you back together." Now, this can't be Michael saying "I will put you back together," because why would the text color change if it's the same character? And also, like, Michael didn't really do shit. He just went to his sister and was like, "Father, I put her back together, even though she joined with a bunch of other animatronics. Then they got ejected out of her, and now she had to put herself back together with scraps. Scrap trap." It also can't be old Willie, because he does not give an absolute shit about his children. If he did, he would probably take care of them instead of making Michael look after the youngest son. The only possible option that makes sense is that if it was Cassidy, because crying child, Cassidy, same being Golden Freddy. It wouldn't be the stretch of an imagination to say that at the crying child's brink of death, Cassidy swooped in and made him a part of Golden Freddy and basically saved him from death. And that would make sense for the vengeful spirit, because she wants to keep living to torture Afton. But something that's always been weird about the Fredbear plush is that, okay, see it? It's there. No, now look, it was on the bed, now it's on a fucking cabinet. No, that's not possible. You think William just between milliframes just put the Fredbear plush and placed it there? No! Now, you could say, oh, there's multiple Fredbear plush, but why is there a Fredbear flower? Did William just cut up a Fredbear plush's head, put it on a flower, and then nobody calls that out? Hey, why the fuck is there a Fredbear head plush on a flower? That's kind of weird. And we know that ghosts in the Fnaf universe, which Golden Freddy is, teleport. That's one of the main characteristics of them. Another weird thing is that the Fredbear plush is always talking to the crying child about how scary the animatronics are. Like, if that was William, why would he be shit-talking his own robots? But another weird thing is that in the Night 3 minigames, Fredbear is talking to Crying Child, and there's a well-known Easter egg in it where fucking William Afton is in that door putting on a Fredbear suit on somebody. Now, if he was like talking through a walkie-talkie going like, oh, remember that last time when Fredbear like hit the gritty and you absolutely shit yourself? And the employee's like, who the fuck are you talking to? But the main argument of Willy Fredbear plushers is that, oh, the Fredbear plush had a walkie-talkie in William Afton's office and sister location. And I don't really like this aspect of FNAF lore, but we have to talk about the experiments. If these are experiment chambers, then that Fredbear plush was probably, just a way of replicating what happened in the FNAF 4 minigames. And another point I have is that you can see the cameras of the locations in the FNAF 4 minigame, and they are just not in the same place as the Fredbear plush. The Fredbear plush on the Night 1 minigame is on a bed, and it's nowhere to be seen in the actual FNAF 4 game. So it's most likely that William just had that for the experiments, and he didn't get it 100% accurate. We already have a more defined ghost to base Golden Freddy on in FNAF, the White Tiger. Now, in Secret of the Mimic, there is no costume or advertisement about the character in the facility. So, I don't think Murray and Co. made the White Tiger. So, that means Ghost in the FNAF universe can just turn into anything. They don't really have to possess anything, unlike the others. So, how I imagine it work is that Cassidy had so much agony in her from that murder, she turned into the very thing that she was stuffed in. But David Murray has very fond memories of that plush toy. So he probably had opposite agony or something to turn him into that ghost. Okay, so cool. The Fredbear plush is Cassidy. What does this recontextualize? Well, there are many interpretations of Midnight Motorist, but I'm the only one you should believe. Everyone else are crazy. I'm the only one you should believe. Me! So let's go over the obvious. Yellow Man is William Afton. Obvious. We all know this. This is not baby shit. This is 12-year-old shit. Now, Couch Guy, a little more difficult, but there's gray text and he's watching TV. So we can pin it down to Michael. And the runaway is just process of elimination, so Crying Child. But the footsteps, the singular pair of footsteps, is Cassidy. Because who else could it be? It can't be any other animatronic because they're gonna be multiple. It has to be a ghost that teleports. Now, it could be White Tiger, but why would they be there? That doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? So it can only be Cassidy. Now, what's the place they're going to? I don't know. Maybe Fredbear's? Freddy's? Junior's? maybe Cassidy is showing a crying child but's really in the animatronics instead children, and that's why he's so scared of them or something? I don't know, just speculation. Now the files for Midnight Motorist are called Later That Night. Now most people think, oh, Later That Night of Charlotte's murder. And that's perfectly fine with me. I don't have any problems with it. But personally, I just think it's after the MCI. Like, we have a reason for Charlotte's murders and the murders that the sister location animatronics did. Charlotte? Oh, William was just really pissed, killed her, and then drove off. The sister location murders? William wanted to experiment Remnant, but we never really knew why he did the MCI. It's commonly believed that William didn't know that possession could happen before the MCI. So, if William just got really drunk one day, killed 5 kids, and it would make sense that he would randomly just do that because he killed Charlotte. He thought it felt good to kill, so he went on a killing spree. Now, I'm not touching the fucking DCI with a 10-foot pole. I don't even want to go near the DCI. Now, it's time for everyone's favorite segment. Other things I couldn't put in a segment, so I'm just kind of lumping it all into one thing. In Fnaf 2, Ralph specifically says that
old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but...
Now, notice the phrasing, a while ago. It's commonly believed that the MCI happened 1985, and FNAF 2 takes place in 1987. So that would be a 2-year gap. Sure, 2 years is a long-ish time, but it doesn't seem like a while to me. This could just be totally subjective and I'm just pulling at straws here, but 4 years at minimum would seem like a while. But now you might be saying, well, if the MCI happened before the bite of 83, how did Spring Bonnie suit get into Freddy's? Well, stupid fucking idiot. There are spares in the closet in this FNAF 4 minigame. And basing our stuff on FNAF 1, I don't think they just took Fredbear and Spring Bonnie just chucked them in a closet. Then when it reopened, they just put them back on stage. I think they just kind of leave them there. So who's to say that they don't have spare Fredbear and Spring Bonnie suits in Freddy's? Okay, but let's look at how the story now goes after this revelation I had because of my huge brain. After Charlotte's murder, Henry leaves the company, which explains why he's not in any of the other games until that one time where he Aura farms. William is left in the company all to himself with all the stress of owning 2 restaurants. He goes drinking heavily at Junior's. He returns to the restaurant and lures 5 children into a back room and kills them. Most of them come to life in the suits under the Marionette's guide. All but one. Cassidy has too much agony from this murder. She turns into a ghost and can transform into anything she wants. So, she plans to turn Cece against William by making him scared of the animatronics, pointing out the absolute neglect of William, and letting the bullying of his brother. And when Cece dies, he's confronted by Cassidy to put him back together and join her. I believe that every FNAF theory starts with a question. For that, it's who's the Fredbear plush? But in starting this, I answered a lot more questions. What the fuck is Midnight Motorist? Why did William do the MCI? Maybe whether Chica meant by she was the first? I'm not too sure about that one. So yeah, this was fun. I plan to do more of these in the future, so look forward to that. If you want to see more, like, subscribe. Bye-bye.